Hi, I'm State Senator Joe Markley of Southington. I'm here with what will be the last update from the legislative session, which just ended sine die, as they say, not to be called back, presumably until February of next year. And the business that needed to be transacted was transacted, not necessarily well, but the budget was passed and everything else that had to happen. So I don't anticipate a special session unless there's just a brief session to possibly if the governor vetoes any bills. Some of you, since we passed the budget yesterday, the big issue today was passing the implementer for the budget. And the implementer for the budget, some of you may have heard me say, used to be a purely technical bill. I brought one out myself back when I was a Human Services Chair in 1985, 1986. Now it has become what they call a Christmas tree, something that you hang all kinds of other pieces of action on. And the worst thing I could say about the implementer in my ongoing complaints about the way that we do things here, well, the worst thing I could say about it, the worst thing I can do is hold it up for you here. 508 pages. This is the first time, I voted on it about half an hour ago, but this is the first time I've actually seen it. What I did see maybe an hour ago was a summary of the implementer, which we received from the Office of Legislative Management. And to say briefly what was in it, there is a certain amount of it which does indeed simply implement the budget. There is a good deal of it which amounts to new policies, some of which we've never seen before. There's some of it which are rejected policies, things that came through the legislative process and either were actually defeated outright or just died along the way, that now have been resurrected in the implementer. There are municipal mandates that have never been seen before. There are what I might call notions of unknown intent and imponderable effect. There is the creation of a series of new medals to be given out by the state and specification as to how they're going to be worn. There are things that I don't object to, and rather I'm glad to see more money for reimbursements in certain ways for school districts. I actually tagged a number of different things in the budget, which I'm sure I won't have time to go through to give you an idea of some of them. The Soldiers, Sailors, and Marines Fund, which we've administered for many years, has been turned over to the American Legion. It was discussed, it was rejected, and now it's been done. There's a section that says the sixth largest city in the state, because they can't name a city, but they can specify one. The sixth largest city in the state, instead of receiving $650,000 education aid, will receive $2,020,000. That's Norwalk. Why Norwalk is getting it, I couldn't tell you. I could speculate, but I couldn't say for sure. There's a requirement that the boards of ed post their budgets on the internet, which will certainly be a pain, at least for some boards of ed. There's a raise of 5% a year for judges, which had been rejected. In fact, I don't think they ever had the nerve to bring it to a vote. Now they've put it in the implementer program. I think worst of all, there's a large expansion of regionalism. Again, that did not, if there was a commission, a bill did not go to the legislature, there were no hearings, and a number of the regional ideas have been put into place, including a requirement that we go to uniform school calendars, so all public schools have the same vacation schedule. Is that a good idea? I'm not sure that it's a necessary idea, but we're going to do it. We also are setting up what's called Regional Human Services Coordinating Councils. I am the ranking member of the Human Services Committee. This is the first time I've even heard this phrase referred to. That is what is frustrating about a budget and about the way we do business. I'll say two things today that I was happy about. One was, if any of you remember the report I made at this time a year ago, I was really disgusted with the scene at the end of the session. An absolute scrum of people pressing around the majority leader Martin Looney, in many cases waving papers, trying to get him to call bills. I spoke with various leaders privately and quietly and said how painful I found it. And again, I know that nobody could have enjoyed it. I'm glad to say that we actually ended our business about 15 minutes before the 12 o'clock deadline, and in fact, which gives me the chance to tape this now before we go down and hear the governor speak. A second thing I'll say that happened today that I was very happy about was I was able to put an amendment up for a vote on a tightening of Connecticut's ethics standards. I haven't discussed it in any of my videos, but some months ago I proposed a bill to improve our ethical standards, and along with Tom Foley, our former gubernatorial candidate, came here and testified at a public hearing. I was amazed at the way that we were treated, and Ambassador Foley especially, who really was grilled and badgered for an hour on a proposal which was simply trying to make clearer ethical standards for state officials. Tom Foley and I have worked on that. We've worked with Republican leadership here in the Senate, and today we were able to put what I thought was a very reasonable ethics bill on the floor and up for a vote. Although it failed, it had the support of all the Republican senators, and it had good words from Democratic senators who admitted that there was merit to the proposal we were making. And I'm hoping that next year we can come back on that, and I think that Ambassador Foley and I will make an effort between now and then to build public support for better ethics up here, clearer ethical standards up here in Hartford. The last thing I want to say to you is that I will be doing a series of town hall meetings in the last 2 weeks of June to report back on the legislative session, to hear what you have to say, to answer your questions. And those meetings, which I'll be notifying you about again, but we will be in Prospect on Monday, June 17th at 6 p.m. at the town hall. We will be in Cheshire Thursday, June 20th at 6 p.m. in the Cheshire Town Hall. We'll be in Waterbury on Monday, June 24th at 6 p.m. in St. Peter and Paul's Church in the basement in the Commons area. We'll be in Wolcott on Tuesday, June 25th at 6 p.m. in the Wolcott Town Hall, and in Southington on Wednesday, June 26th at 6 p.m. in the new Municipal Center. And in all those cases, I'll be joined by one or more of the state representatives that represent those towns. So if you've been to them before, I think you will remember that they've been, at least I thought they've been reasonably interesting and informative. I've enjoyed them. I hope the people that have attended have enjoyed them. And we will be emailing you a reminder about those again down the road. So I will certainly be back to talk about other subjects between now and February, but for now, this is the Sine Die State Senate report. I'm State Senator Joe Markley, and thank you for your attention and your support and the good words that I've heard from many of you that have been viewing these. Thank you very much.